I realized I had one big breakthrough that was a little bit scary. What's up, beautiful people? I'm Erin and this is Erin On Demand, and I am so excited for this video, y'all, because your girl feels free at last. Well, free-ish. So I am, if you've been following me along, you know about the growth series, but a little recap is that I have been feeling very stuck, and it wasn't even like a complete burnout. It was more of like exhausted from doing the same thing over and over again, like more of like a boredom with my business, with my content. I felt like I hit a wall, and I was kind of in this space where I kept comparing myself to where I was when I first started Erin On Demand, and just feeling like, how can I get back there? Like, I felt like that was my most relatable time. You know, life looked so different for me, and that impacted my grit and my desire to like push forward and like build what I have built, essentially. And now life is a lot more comfortable and a lot more, I don't know, just fun. I won't say fun because my life was fun then too, but it looks different. And I have to figure out, like, how do I get that grit? How do I get back down to my why? What is gonna push me forward? Because as long as I stay in, like, as long as I maintain these standards and have these standards for my life, of which I have currently achieved, then I'm not gonna push forward. Like, I have to elevate my standards and my mindset and my desires in order to get there. And that was really difficult for me. Like, that was one of my biggest realizations, is that like I kind of just got too comfortable. And it was a big realization for me that that discomfort has really helped push me forward. And so how can I find some sense of discomfort in my current state? And this is not to say that I am not grateful, that I am not super appreciative and happy and present in where I am now. It just means that this isn't it, and I don't want it to be it. And that's fine too. So with that, I was feeling like my mindset was in one place, and then my content and my business was in another place. And I felt like my mind was like 10 steps ahead, and I was trying to kind of like get my content and my business to catch up to where I was and where I want to be. And it was really hard. Like, it was really tough for me to think about, okay, how am I going to take them back on another journey with me? What is that journey? What does that look like? Like, how can I document like where I really am, versus like feeling as if I'm just going through the motions with everything, with like Ebrand every Monday at 8:30, uploading a video on YouTube every Wednesday, doing creator to CEO stuff every other week. Like, how can I break the regimen of like feeling like I had gotten bored in my business? And so I realized I had one big breakthrough that was a little bit scary, but it was like, I just felt like my business wasn't sustainable and it wasn't scalable in the way that I may have thought it was. And it's really tough, because when you do one-on-ones and when you're a coach and when you're a strategist and you have this service-based business, a lot of it is pulling and tugging on your mind. And so then you feel like you also don't have a lot of mental space to create for yourself and to create for fun. And like, you start feeling like everything has to be informational, and everything has to be related to business, and everything has to be niched, and everything, you know, has to be like this certain way in order for people to take you seriously in that craft. And I really had to break out of that whole mindset, and also realize that I need help. You know, like I have a team, which is great, and they're amazing, but I also realized that I needed help with strategizing the direction that I wanted my business to go in order to make it more scalable. So I hired a business strategist. I don't even know if like her actual title, if that's like what she goes by, but that's been her role for me. And it has been incredible, like a godsend, because she literally is a creator to CEO student. She is in the Ebrand Club, and she is extremely talented and gifted and like super just business savvy. And she messaged me and was like, hey, like, I don't know if you're adding to your team, but I would love to help in this capacity. And like, I've worked with this company and done this and done that. And like, I know your brand so well. So let me know just if you need any help in this area. Got on a call, pretty much hired her on the spot, and she has been so helpful. So I'm going to do a whole nother video on like my business strategist and like why we hired her and what she does and like how she's been helpful for us, in case that's something that you guys are interested in hiring. But I had to get out of my own head that like, well, Erin, you're a strategist. Like, how can you not strategize your own business? It is definitely different doing it for someone else than it is doing it for yourself. It doesn't matter how skilled and talented you are. It's not always the easiest to come in and like to be objective in your own business. And in fact, I was listening to a podcast this morning, and the CEO of Target bounced around from different companies, and like Target was actually a competitor of some of the past companies that he was a C-level executive for. And when you can come in and objectively help a company grow, like there's power in that. That's why CEOs like hop around from company to company quite a bit, because they know how to come in and like objectively help a company grow. And so I needed that. And so we hired Rima, and she has been so great, but it was really me getting out of my head. So I said, girl, we need to make this thing more scalable. Because for one, I was feeling pretty overworked, but also feeling like business was hitting a little slump. Like I felt like we were starting to kind of plateau with membership enrollments, with course enrollments, with top 3 sales. And the more offers you have, it's also like more marketing you have to keep up with, and more stuff you have to manage, which causes your energy to be spread out, which is why I always tell new entrepreneurs, especially, to keep your offers simple. Start with one, because as soon as you start adding a whole bunch of products or adding a whole bunch of services to your product suite or to your service suite, then you start to really stretch yourself thin. You stretch your marketing, you stretch your mind, you stretch your resources, and you stretch your audience's capability to make a faster decision or a faster buy, because they're trying to sift through all of the things you have to offer. And so I was starting to feel like, okay, how is all of this stringing together? How can we make everything just flow together? And that's kind of where Rima stepped in. But for one, I'm just going to share with you a couple of things that we're doing now to just make Erin On Demand more scalable. And hopefully this is helpful for like coaches or people who run predominantly service-based businesses, because one-on-ones is not necessarily sustainable or scalable. You know, even a membership club, although yes, that model is scalable, it's really based on how you run that membership club of whether or not it's actually scalable. And the way we were running the Ebrand Club was not scalable, but it also was not as transformational as we wanted it to be. So we had the Ebrand Club for 3 years, and I love it. Like, I literally love that club so much. There have been a few times where I'm like, oh Lord, I cannot do this anymore. But I just can't let it go, because it has helped so many people get their content up and running, start their businesses, providing them with resources for an affordable amount of money. And just, I poured so much into that community, and I just didn't want to get rid of it. But I also felt like it needed some oomph. So how can we kind of take this time to marry those two things together, make a bigger and better and faster transformation, while also making the club just more sustainable and scalable for me? And so that's what we did. So we're shifting it to the Ebrand Academy. So there will still be content, there will be lives, there will be an incredible community still. We're switching it from Facebook to a whole nother platform, and it's gonna be so much better. And I'm just really excited because, you know, a lot of times we start a business and we think that we have to stay stuck in that way. And whatever sustainability and scalability means for you, you know, if in a year or two you're ready to start having kids, you're ready to travel the world, you still want to be able to run a business. And I was feeling a little bit trapped in not being able to like see where I was going to be able to grow with continuing to run certain services and products in the same way that I had been. So that is one major way that we are shifting. We're changing the way that we run the membership club so that it can be a sustainable part of Erin On Demand. Another thing that I am doing is I am cutting the amount of brand deals that I'm taking and only taking higher quality brand deals with brands that I really, really love and believe in. And I was already doing that, but I felt myself bending a little bit more and being like, well, you know, it can be very tempting, you guys, especially if in one part of your business revenue is starting to dip a little. There's always some brands that will knock on your door, and you know, if you have great management, they're able to negotiate more, and it can be hard to resist, especially when you're like somebody like me who's still, I'm like, yes, like thank you God for the blessings, but I can't turn down some numbers. And so I'm just being real, y'all. So that is a big way that I'm making it more sustainable, because it can be really challenging to squeeze brand deals into your organic content on top of running a business. It is a lot of work. And so it can really start to wear on my energy for some of my own services and products that I could be offering. And then, you know, another thing is just, we are really, really hoping to do more events and in-person stuff, because that also really just fuels me. And I feel like the sustainability part of business is just keeping it fun and interesting. And so I want to have more meetups. I'm going to be traveling a lot more. So I'm going to try to do a meetup in every location that I travel to, even if it's just with one person who can meet me, or if it's with 100 people who can meet me. I don't care. I just want to see you guys, because that keeps me going. So I hope this video was helpful and encouraging for you. It is okay if you are in a space where you're wanting to pivot your business, pivot your services. It feels scary in the moment, but it is doable, especially if you have the right team. But more importantly, if you have your standards of what you want to move into set. And if you really go back to that why. So that's what I've been working on, you guys. And I just want to be more transparent with y'all on where I'm at on the channel, because you guys have been rocking with me. And I want to share with you like my journey moving forward. You know, this isn't the end. This is still just the beginning. So I'm going to share in the next video all about my business strategist and like all the things that she does. She has seriously already made me a lot of money and just helped me feel more confident in my business and how we're executing. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming up very soon, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.